All right, we're going to be, once again, solving the system of inequalities. I'm going to shade this one in blue. I'm going to shade this one magenta. Once again, I would like you guys to label this A, B, and C. And down here, I want you to label it A, AX, plus BY, greater than or equal to C. Now, we are going to do this a non-traditional way. I want you guys to notice something, though. Whenever you see something in standard form, and you see a negative in front of your y value, what are you eventually going to have to do? Multiply or divide by a negative, and what's going to happen to the sign? It's going to have to flip. I know, before even doing this problem, I know because the negative is in front of the y value, not in front of the x, but in front of the y, I automatically know that my final answer is going to be y is greater than or equal to whatever my slope is plus my y-intercept, without even doing any work, by recognizing what? That there's a negative in front of the y. So before you do a problem, look for those clues. See if you... Now, does this one have a negative? No. So automatically, I know that this one's going to be y is greater than... Let me go back here. Come on. Please work for it. There we go. I know this is going to be y is greater than or equal to mx plus b. Because it's a what? It's a positive and not a negative. So the sign stays the same. Here, what happened? The sign flipped. Here, it stays the same. Now, what I'd like you to do right now is I want you guys, over here, I want you guys to write m equals negative a over b, and lowercase b, my y-intercept, is equal to c over capital B. We're going to use these formulas to find our slope and our y-intercept without doing a whole bunch of work. All right? In order for this to work, though, I have to know what my a value is, I have to know what my b value is, and I have to know what my c value is. So, Angela, what is my a value for the blue equation? What about B? Negative 2. And what about C? Negative 1. Perfect. So now that we have those, let's figure out what our slope is going to be. I'm going to put negative 2. And what's my A value? 3. What's my B value? Negative 2. What is negative 3 divided by negative 2? Positive 1.5, or 3 over 2. So right now, I want you to know our slope for the blue line is 3 over 2. That is our slope. C over B. What's C? Negative 1. What's capital B? Negative 2. What's negative 1 divided by negative 2? Positive 1/2. My inequality is y is greater than or equal to 3 over 2 x plus 1/2. You're like, great, I don't know how to graph that without using the graphing calculator. That's okay. All right? You guys can use your graphing calculator. Watch. I'm going to hit. And hit y equals, you're going to type in 3 divided by 2 x plus 1 divided by 2. Check your table. By the way, look at this table right here, everybody. What does that say? That says I have a what? A 1 and a 2. And I have a 3 and a 5. So let's just plot 1, 2, and 3, 5. 1, 2, and 3, 5. So right here, for my x and my y, I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3, 5. So I'm going to go over here. 1, 2, oh man, I can't go 3, 5. But what's my slope? What's my slope?
You can go down.
Right, I can go down 3 units and over 2 units. And guess what other point I have? I have a point that's what? -1, -1. So if you run out of room, follow the pattern of your slope, which is what? A 3-to-2 ratio, right? Down 3 over 2. Or up 3 over 2. Up 3 over 2. Now, greater than or equal to, what kind of line? Solid, and where are we going to shape? Above. So that's what I want you to do next. Make a nice solid line. All right? Through those points right there. Nice solid line through those points. And we're going to shade everywhere above the line. Right? Shading everywhere above the line. Now we got this equation in slope-intercept form, but we didn't solve for y. We just used some formula, right? Now, what we're going to do next is I'm going to label A, B, and C for our magenta line. So what is, look at this, what is our A value? It looks like we just have an x, right? But it's what? 1x. 4 is the B. -12 is C. Very good. Now, if we wanted to find the slope, we're going to use the exact same formula, which is our negative A value over our capital B value. And our y-intercept is the same formula. It's capital C over B. Let's find our slope. Negative. What's our A value? 1. What's our B value? 4. Very good. So let me explain to you right now, everybody. Our slope is -1/4. That's our slope for our line. Yeah, down 1 over 4. When we find a point, we'll do down 1 over 4. Let's look at our C over our B. What's C? Oh, supposed to be -12 there. There we go. -12. And our capital B is? What is -12 divided by 4? -3 is right. So our y-intercept is at a -3. So here's our equation, everybody. Y is greater than or equal to -1/4 of x minus 3. This is your equation that's in slope-intercept form. So we're going to go down 1, 2, 3. We're going to put a point right here on the y-intercept. Now, why did I start with this one with the y-intercept and the other one I did? Our other y-intercept was at a what? A +0.5, and I'd rather start somewhere where there's an ordered pair of integers. Integers meaning they're not decimals or fractions. Okay? Now from here, once I have my y-intercept, Maddie, what did I say the slope was? -1/4. So what do we do? Down 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4. That's correct. Up 1 and over 4 to the left. Now this, once again, is a solid line. What makes a dotted line?
It's not just greater or equal.
Yeah, just greater or less, right? If there's no equal, so if there's no equal to part right here, then we would make it dotted, not solid. Greater than, you shade above. If it's less than, where do you shade? Below. Okay, greater than, shade above. Less than, shade below. This one is also shaded what? Shaded A above. So everybody shade above. Okay. Oh, once again. Heck of it. I messed up. I know. Well, I had to. I'll explain why I had to do that. Okay. No, not because I'm OCD. I'm not that. That was that bad. Just went barely across. Now jump back to the other side. Now here's what happens. If I do something wrong, it makes it go really, really, really bad. Watch. So that one. Look what happens when I try to erase just this little tiny bit. Right. Oh my gosh. You see what happens? So I'd rather just not erase it. Okay? Because it just makes everything look ugly. Or as my uncle would say, it was so ugly, it was oogly. All right. Now, notice right here, this is your solution region where the shading overlaps is the region where your solutions are going to happen. Okay? This is the last one you're going to do on your journal. The rest of it you're going to just do on your assignment where you have the graphs. Okay? We'll do a couple more, and then you'll be on your own. All right, the last problem we're going to do seems like a very straightforward, very easy problem, but when we look at it, we realize, wait a second. That's an absolute value bar. What are we going to do? It's okay. Calm down. Settle down. It'll be fine, all right? Snap into a Slim Jim. Grab yourself a Snickers bar. Eat a Kit Kat. It's going to be okay. Well, then just drink some tap water.
I can't afford water.
And call it smart water, all right? So, what we're going to do right now is we're going to first deal with this pesky thing called the absolute value of y. But instead of saying less than or equal to, I would like you guys to say equals a 1 just for practice. Now, what number could I plug in for this absolute value? What number would make this statement true? -1 would work because the absolute value of a -1 is a 1. What's another number that I could plug in there that would work? 1.
No.
So my answer would be -1 or 1 if this was an equation and not an inequality. Well, how do we deal with inequalities? Because this right here is not equal to, it's what? Less than or equal to. So I could say y is less than or equal to 1, but I could also say y is greater than or equal to a -1. Well, why do I have to flip the sign when I, oh, wait a second, I apply to, okay. So listen, whenever you have something like this, you're going to have what? Not one answer, you're going to have two answers. We're going to put a little and symbol right there. So we're going to graph both of these. We're going to graph y is less than or equal to 1, and we're going to graph y is greater than or equal to 1.
Negative.
Oh, sorry, negative. Thank you for correcting. By the way, that's where y is equal to a 1. Right here, this right here is where y is equal to a -1. So this line right here is y equals 1. This line right here is y equals a -1. So I need to shade less than the 1, but greater than the -1. So where do I have to shade? Everywhere in between. Oh. So there we go. That's the correct shading for y is less than or equal to 1 and y is greater than or equal to -1. Now we're going to move over and we're going to look at our last inequality. X is greater than 2. Now, a greater than symbol tells us two things. One, it's going to be dotted. All right? And this, by the way, we are going to shade not above, we're going to shade to the right. Because it's got to be greater than a 2. And if it's x, it's going to be a vertical line. So you need to make it dotted. Vertical line. Right here, where x is equal to a 2. So this right here, this line, is where x is equal to a 2. You'll notice right there. That's 2, 0. That's 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3. X is always equal to 2. We got to shade everything greater than that. So we got to shade to the right. So we're going to shade everything to the right of that. Okay? Do you guys see where the shading overlaps? That's your solution. So, I'm going to scroll down here just a little bit. Your solution region is right here where the two shaded areas meet. And that's your answer, right there. I hope this video helps somebody out there. Goodbye.